everything will just come to you. The answers will just come to you. And the reason why they will just naturally come to you is because by connecting with higher consciousness, you are connecting with every possible timeline you can imagine, which means that you can literally connect with the best timelines for you at this very moment. The timelines, the version of you who have the answers to what you're looking for. That's what you're doing. You will be connecting to this one eternal present moment who has every single solution. Hi there, beautiful soul, and welcome back to my channel. So if you feel lost in life, or if you feel like you don't know what's going on with you, or if you would simply like to finally align with your higher purpose and dramatically transform your life, then keep on watching because this video is exactly for you. And so if you've ever heard talking about the infamous higher self, then you might have perceived it as something or somebody above you. Or some people even believe the higher self is a whole other being apart from themselves. And so I'm here to clarify that, first of all, the higher self is 100% you, okay? It is you. And it is called higher, not because it's above you or in another dimension or, I don't know, in heaven, but because it's in a much higher frequency than the one you're on. Because the higher self is in a way more expanded state of consciousness than the one you're in, which is why I also personally prefer calling it higher consciousness. Now, the reason why connecting with your higher self on a daily basis or as often as possible is so important, so absolutely fundamental, is because you need to understand that before incarnating in the body you currently have and living the life that you're currently living, you had a plan. That's right. You had a very specific plan, a blueprint for what you wanted to experience in this incarnation. You had it all planned out before actually incarnating. So you knew what you wanted to be. You knew what experiences you wanted to have. You knew what people you wanted to have on your path to share your experience, your life experience with. You knew everything. You really had a very clear plan of what is that you wanted to experience. But not only that, the higher consciousness, your higher consciousness has infinite knowledge on who you are, who you were, who you will be, and who you have been in your infinite incarnations. And pay attention that I'm using past and future tense only to make this whole concept easier to grasp for the ones that are new to it. Because as many of you might already know, time is not linear. There is no past, there is no future. There's only one present moment. And every single thing you could ever possibly imagine is happening at this very moment as you are watching this video and as I am filming this video. And so the unhappy version of you is living right now in this very moment as the super happy and fulfilled version of you. And the 2 years old version of you is living right now as the 75 years old version of you. And the version of you who is living this current incarnation, this very moment, is living at the same exact time as the version of you who lived 1,000 years ago in one of your infinite incarnations. Everything is happening now. Every single thing you could ever possibly imagine is happening now in one eternal moment. And the higher self, the higher consciousness, is the connector to all of these infinite moments. And so, as the higher self has all of the knowledge, all of the answers you might be looking for, then you understand why it is so crucial for you to connect with it, not only for your spiritual journey, for your spiritual growth, but to live the best life you could ever possibly imagine. Your higher consciousness has all the keys, all the answers, but most importantly, it knows who you came here to be. Why have you incarnated in the body you have? Why did you choose the parents you have, the family you have? Why are you going through what you're going through right now? What's the reason? And what's the solution? What's the way out? How you can finally move onto the right path, onto the right track? How can you change your life trajectory? And what is your higher purpose, your higher calling in this life? Your higher self knows it all. It knows everything. And so let's use a little analogy to help you understand even better why is that it's so important for you to connect with your higher self, with your higher consciousness. And so let's imagine that you are an astronaut who went on a mission on another planet. Now, you land on this planet and you realize that the physical conditions there are very, very different from the ones that you're used to. They're so different that they actually cause you to completely forget why you're there, why you went there, why. And so what does this astronaut need to do? Well, the astronaut can connect with the crew on the other side, with the higher self, with the higher consciousness. And so as the astronaut connect with the crew each and every day, a new piece of information will be given to him. And so if the astronaut wants to perfectly carry out this mission, he needs to connect as often as possible with the crew. Since he doesn't know the place, he doesn't remember what he's there to do. And so connecting with the crew, connecting with the higher self, it's his only hope. It's his only way to carry out the mission. Now, I really love this analogy because I feel like it captures really well the whole concept of the higher self. But I want you to understand that the higher consciousness, the higher self, isn't on the other side. And it's not even somewhere else here around you. The higher self is within. It's within you. It's always and only within that you need to go. And so by connecting with it on a daily basis or as often as possible, you won't only remember who you are, who you came here to be. You will remember everything. You will have access to all kind of information. You will simply develop a very strong inner knowing, or you will come across every single piece of information you need to know to perform your mission, just like the astronaut. And trust me when I say that your life will never be the same again. It will dramatically transform. I really mean it, dramatically transform. And when I say dramatically, I mean that once you start connecting in a conscious and active way with your higher self, then you'll have the chance to actually request to put you on the path you're meant to be on the journey you're meant to be on to fully and completely align with your higher purpose. That's right, you can actually request this. And from that moment on, your life might take a crazy turn. Very, very crazy things might start happening. Now, it's not for everybody the same, but this is a possibility, okay? So, especially when you are in a very dark place, very dramatic and drastic changes are needed, might be needed, which is why things might get a little bit, dramatic. And so, taking this into consideration, I also suggest you ask your higher self to take things a little bit slower, okay? Not to rush and do things all at once and completely shatter your world, but to take it a little bit slower, okay? You can also ask that. You also have that possibility. It is you, okay? You're talking with yourself. You're talking with the higher part of you. And so you can just talk to it as if you would be talking with yourself, because that's what you're doing, okay? And so we have talked about why it is so important, so fundamental for you to connect with your higher consciousness, with your higher self. But how do you actually do it, right? Well, as I said, your higher self is simply you in an infinitely more expanded state of consciousness. So the only thing you need to do is connect with yourself by going within, by simply having the intention to connect with your higher self. So put yourself in a very relaxed state. So just meditate a little bit to empty out your mind, and then simply have the intention, the mental intention, to connect with your higher self. Or you can actually say it out loud. So you can literally say, I'm connecting with my higher self. Like that. Very, very easy. When you're just starting out, it's actually better for you to say it out loud. I feel like the connection works much faster that way. But it's just up to you as you feel like doing it. Once again, you're not connecting with a being that is other than you, okay? You're connecting with yourself by going within, okay? You're going within. You're not connecting with something out there. And I really, really want to make this clear, because I heard of people having very strange experiences, hearing voices in their heads telling them to do things against their highest good. And so this can only happen if you believe you're connecting with something out there, okay? With something that it is not you, which is not the case. And so as you connect with your higher self, with your higher consciousness, then you can ask questions and see what comes up for you. Or you can request to put you on the path you're supposed to be on to align with your higher purpose in this life. It's really up to you. You can really just ask for guidance and see what comes up. But when you're just starting out, it might be a little bit hard for you to recognize the answers that you're receiving. And so what I would suggest is that you just ask whatever it is that you want to ask, and then wait. Just wait. And you'll notice that the answer might suddenly pop up in your mind. Or if nothing comes up, then you just move on with your day. And you will notice that strange things might happen. So for example, a friend of yours might actually answer to that question. Or you might notice that a random line in a movie that you're watching is giving you the answer, the exact answer you needed. Pay attention that we are constantly connected with our higher self. Our higher self is our intuition, okay? That's what it is. It's our intuition. But the thing is that we are so disconnected from it because we give so much attention to the external world that we actually end up losing that connection, which is why it is so important for us to establish it again. And day by day, by connecting with your higher self over and over again, you'll start noticing that your intuition will just, get to a whole other level. You'll notice that it will be immensely heightened, and you will just know things. You will just know. You won't need to ask to anybody. Not that asking to people is wrong, okay? I don't want to give you that idea. We are one. We are one consciousness, so it is right for us to ask for help, absolutely. But what I want you to understand is that you will just have an inner knowing. You will develop this inner knowing, and you won't have to rely on others to find your own truth. You will stop waiting for others to tell you what to do, what is right or wrong, what you should think about this thing or that thing. And everything will just come to you. The answers will just come to you. And the reason why they will just naturally come to you is because by connecting with higher consciousness, you are connecting with every possible timeline you can imagine, which means that you can literally connect with the best timelines for you at this very moment. The timelines, the version of you who have the answers to what you're looking for. That's what you're doing. You will be connecting to this one eternal present moment who has every single solution by going within. Always and only going within, because there really isn't any external world. There really isn't. There really isn't. Everything that's in here is what is projected out there. You only need to connect and listen. That's the only thing you need to do. Nothing else. Nothing else. And so I really, really hope this video was helpful to you. There are so many things I would like to say right now, but I really don't want to make this too long. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And that's all. I'll see you very, very soon. Hopefully sooner than the last time in the next video. All right? Bye-bye.